Welcome back, my name is Carrie, and today I'm going to show you a startup shaking up prefab housing that are currently on their way to the United States. If you haven't noticed, I am very fascinated with homes built in a factory setting because I think there are a ton of benefits, and when you mix in some of the technology that we're seeing, I think we're in for a wild ride. However, a thorn that keeps coming up in the comments is proximity to the factory, limiting who can purchase homes from any particular factory. The argument is usually from people who have fallen in love with a home that's built on the opposite coast of where they want it delivered. I get it, my all-time favorite sandwich isn't even available in this country. Sure, I could probably get them to mail it to me in a cooler, but to what end? If you're in Florida looking to buy a California-built home, you're going to lose some of the efficiency that comes with building in a factory. It's possible, but likely not the most economical option. It would be great if a company could take the efficiency of building in a factory from place to place all over the country, but setting up multiple factories takes a lot of cheddar, and let's not forget about time. People want houses now. What if a factory could be transported to a build site for the time it's needed, then move to the next build site? It's a very interesting idea if someone can figure it out. Good news, folks, they're trying. The company I'm talking about is called Cuby, or possibly Cuby, I'm not really sure. But they've got transportable factories building cost-effective homes. What I'm going to do is tell you about the company, check out what they're building, and get into the costs. Cuby is a startup offering turnkey transportable factories that could be one solution to the factory location dilemma. On top of trying to solve the factory location issue that people keep bringing up in my comments, Cuby has identified a handful of others facing the entire construction industry. Some of the issues they've identified facing construction include a skilled labor shortage, unprecedented costs and delays. That's a big one, folks. Lack of transparency and control over materials, inefficient coordination amongst parties, and an end product that does little to excite consumers. Maybe I'm just easily excitable, but honestly, I'm pretty excited about a lot of the new options available. Is it just me? The company was founded in 2018 and spent 3 years in a notable incubator where they had access to 200 engineers. It's noted that between 2018 and 2021, when they emerged from said incubator, the project had amassed 100,000 engineering hours developing their hardware, software, launching case study factories, and constructing case study homes. The following calculation by me has amassed 0 engineering hours, but I'm pretty sure what they're talking about is the equivalent of 4,000 days or 11 years total time spent on what they're rolling out. From the outside looking in, the idea itself is pretty simple. What they've got is mobile factories that can be deployed on or near the site that homes are being built. The idea is to maintain the benefits of manufacturing in a factory setting without the limitation of the factory location. They say Cuby is using the automotive and aeronautic industry to do a better job of delivering for the built environment through a distribution network of small factories on or near the construction site. After spending a bit of time on their website, what that looks like is a smaller scale factory than what a lot of the prefab builders are using, geared towards small to medium buildings, particularly suited for residential. Their purpose is to create a better system for delivering buildings that end users will fall in love with and builders will profit from. From what I can gather so far, the factory and everything in it is transportable, and they set them up wherever there's enough demand for their services. They say with their distribution network of small factories positioned around any given area with demand for more buildings, Cuby expects to lower the cost of construction by more than 40%, shrink project delivery time by 50%, and reduce footprint of buildings by 90%, all while improving project predictability and construction quality, making it a win-win for both developers, construction companies, and end users. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what we're actually talking about here is a win-win-win. It's the most desirable outcome. If you've been looking at their space and thinking it doesn't look like they can fit more than a couple homes in their localized factories, you're absolutely right. In fact, they don't plan on fitting any. Does Cuby plan to manufacture homes in a hyper-localized factory? Yes, but they aren't doing it in the same way that a lot of prefab companies you see on the channel are doing it. The way their process works is they build the parts in their factories, and because they're located close or at the build site, they're able to finish more than would normally be possible. It's a kit of parts that is then moved to the build site and assembled faster than normal because they have exactly what they need, the exact length they need it to be. From what I can tell right now, they have one R&D factory and one Cuby prototype. As I mentioned, the way their process works is they manufacture the kit of parts at the build site, which cuts down the construction time waste, and footprint. Their homes are made up of components that assemble into a structural grid with dimensions of 10 by 20 feet. Spaces within the grid can be connected or separated based on specific home needs. By fabricating the parts at the site, they'll definitely have more flexibility in the shapes and sizes of homes they're able to build. Their prototype is a perfect example. The prototype they've built looks really cool and wasn't at all what I was expecting to see when I first heard about the company. Their homes are constructed with primarily steel and concrete, and if the prototype is any indication of the look they'll be producing going forward, we've got another modern builder on our hands, which I like. It's a 2-story home with a covered entry and a steel pergola to give it a little bit of pizzazz on the exterior, but if you strip that back, it's a fairly simple shape. It isn't listed, but looks to be about 800 square feet per floor. They fabricate the steel in the Cuby factory, assemble it on site, install in-floor heat, pour concrete floors, and the result is a cool looking home inside and out. I've never actually lived in a home with a concrete floor, but I know people who have, and I did like the look of it whenever I'd go over there. In the prototype, they opted for wood on the floor and wood accents throughout the home, and I think it looks awesome. I'm curious to see what they come out with when they start setting up their factories. Will they all be similar to the prototype we're looking at here? Will there be different model lines with various levels of finish, or will each factory design homes specific to the project it's deployed to build? It's still early for Cuby, and we are going to have to wait to see exactly what the first customer-built homes will look like, but it doesn't sound like we're going to have to wait that long. According to Fast Company, the first US factory will be deployed this year. Cuby has a contract and permits for a single-family housing development in the suburbs of Philly. The founder expects to have the first prototype in Philly finished by this summer, so we'll get to see exactly what a home built on American soil will look like, and more importantly, how much it'll cost. All we know for sure right now is they've got 2 different size factories available, each offering a different price per square foot. The first is their V2 factory that they describe as turnkey and transportable with low capital expenditure requirement and the ability to maximize output to 96,000 square feet per year with costs geared toward $140 per square foot. That means if the homes are around 800 square feet and they're fully cranking them out, they'll be able to produce 120 home kits per year. That would cost around $120,000, but I'm guessing that's the cost to whoever buys the factory. The V3 factory is described again as turnkey and transportable, but with a higher capital expenditure requirement and the ability to maximize output to 480,000 square feet per year with costs geared towards $110 per square foot. If they end up building 800 square foot homes, we're looking at 600 home kits per year at $88,000 per. Now we're talking. Cuby's a prefab home startup approaching the industry from a new angle by selling turnkey transportable factories that can be moved to wherever they're needed. They have an R&D factory up and running, a prototype finish, and have plans for their first transportable factory in the US later this year. The cost of the factory hasn't been confirmed, but the resulting cost per square foot seems reasonable and the prototype does look cool. I think it's a very interesting idea and it's still early for this company, so I'll be following along with what they're up to and posting updates right here on my YouTube channel. That's all I've got for today. If you like manufactured home videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I've got new ones coming out every single week. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.